Hi everybody, Paul here from Hill Country Rings. Today we're going to be doing a little something different. Going to be making a titanium inlay ring using a NASCAR race used tire. So let's go into the shop. Now I don't have a complete NASCAR tire. That would be kind of hard to cut up. But what I do have is this one of these collector cards that has a piece of a race used tire and that's attached to it, and these are pretty widely available. And this one is from Dale Earnhardt Jr. and it says it was from the 2003 NASCAR Winston Cup Series. So it's pretty legit. So what we're going to do is take this piece of this tire off. We're going to cut it up into little tiny pieces like I usually do for an inlay of, like I did for the train rubber inlay, and then inlay that into a titanium ring core. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then of course we'll sand it and finish it and buff it and polish it, make it all pretty. So let's get started. First thing I need to do is remove this piece of tire from this collector card. Alright, like I said, this is from Dale Earnhardt Jr. from the 2003 NASCAR Winston Cup Series. It was used during a race, and this is 433 of 1100, so I don't know if that adds to the collectability of that, but anyway, this piece of rubber, we just need to get this off of this card, and then we can start getting it ready to process. I do a lot of inlay rings with different things. I do inlays from with pieces of people's military uniforms, from baby blankets or mementos. I did some from like my wife's grandmother's from her apron, and they come out really nice. So this should be a fairly simple one to do, but should look pretty cool. So that's that piece of rubber there. It's very thin, but it's going to be thick enough to do. I can't really lay it into the ring like that because it's bent, so it wouldn't go like that. But what I'm going to do is chop it up into little pieces and then inlay it in with probably CA. I think I have some black CA, so that would be really good. And then we'll sand it down so it's all pretty much flush with the metal, with the titanium, and then we'll put some clear finish on it, buff it up, polish it. It'll look really pretty. But the first thing we need to do is to take this piece of tire. I'm going to clean it up with some alcohol to get rid of any of that sticky residue, and then we'll go ahead and start chopping that up. So let's clean out that piece of tire. Just a little bit of, like I said, denatured alcohol. Get that on there, and then just clean off that residue. Now that we got it good and clean, we're just going to go ahead and cut this into little pieces, kind of random sized pieces. We don't want it like to all be uniform triangles or squares. We want it kind of like just different shaped bits, so that when we inlay, they'll all kind of like overlap and make a good base. And then we'll inlay them with that CA into the ring core. So get some big ones and some little ones and some square ones and triangular ones, and just all different shapes. Alright, we got a little bottle of tire chips, and now we just need to get ready to inlay that into the ring. Before I start inlaying this ring, I do want to, because this is titanium, I can scratch up the inside surface here and just make a little better bonding surface. So I'm going to scratch up that the inside of the base of that channel right there, and then that way we can get a better bonding. At least that's the theory. Well, some of these little tire bits were a little big, so I took a few minutes off camera and cut them a little smaller. So I think what I might do is go ahead and make just a little pool of that black CA here, and then use that to inlay from, so I can more carefully inlay these guys in there like that. That way I can make sure I got good coverage. Ooh, let me get a jeweler's tool. Got a jeweler's tool, so I'm not using my fingers. And this way I get these guys bonded in a good, just a good layer. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to let that cure, and then I'll chop this up even finer, and then fill in some of those little spots. There's probably some little spots. There's some little spots in there that I need to fill in. So I can chop it up and then pack it in between those bigger pieces. Now cut up the rest of that piece of tire up into even smaller pieces, and I'm sure there's a better way to doing it than with by hand with a pair of scissors, but that's what I did. So now I'm going to put another layer of the CA, this black CA here, and then sprinkle in and try to fill in any of these gaps between these pieces that are in there now. So we just kind of get some CA in there. And then take some of these little tiny pieces and sprinkle them on there. I got this little tinfoil thing to catch them. So we just go around and do that. I scooped up the little crumbs that fell off and did it another time, and I'm going to go around it one more time at least. Okay. Alright, I think I gotta get good and packed. I'm gonna let him cure a little bit, and then maybe put another layer of that CA. Let's put another coat of this wax CA in there, just to fill in any cracks between any pieces and get that ready for sanding. So we'll let that cure, and then we'll take him over to the lathe and we'll do some sanding. I know it looks kind of gnarly now, but it'll look better. It will look better once we start sanding him down. Some of that CA glue got inside this ring, actually a lot of it. So just had to, once I took it off the mandrel, the little where I was doing this, I have to kind of clean up the inside and get any of that glue off the inside of the ring with the razor knife. It's kind of a slow, tedious process, but kind of like Zen. Alright, I think we're ready to go on the lathe, and what we're going to do is just kind of sand it down with sandpaper, different grits of sandpaper, and get that down until it's ready to put some, maybe another coat of clear on there, and then finish it off. Alright, we're going to start out with 80 grit, then we're going to go to 200 grit, and then maybe 1000 grit once we do that. So we'll see where we need to put some finish on. Let's start shaping off all these little globules. Just put a layer of that CA on there, and then we'll let that cure and sand that off. Sand that back down. Alright, let's go ahead and use 200 grit sandpaper. Alright, let's take him over to the rotisserie and put a nice clear finish on him. Alright, got him back on the lathe. Now we're just going to hit him up with 1000 grit sandpaper, just real quick. Then the scratch free and the 1-2-3 polishing compound. So we'll polish them up nice. Now, something my buddy JD at ringsupplies.com sent me is some diamond polishing paste, and he has cracked the code on what they use in industrial manufacturing to do final polishing on titanium, tungsten, and steel. And I'm going to try some of this, and it's like a paste. This is going to be a final polishing compound. Just a little dab, just a tiny little dab is all we need from that. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, here is that tire card from Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the inlay ring I made from it. So an inlay ring made from a NASCAR tire. So pretty cool. This is my first attempt at it, but it came out pretty good. I think so. If you would like a ring made from a NASCAR tire, from the deck of a battleship, from an M1 Garand, from heritage and legacy wood that you might have or want me to make a ring from, please let me know. Check out my other videos. I make a lot of rings, and if you could like and subscribe, that really helped the channel. But check out hillcountryrings.com, and I'd love to make a ring for you. Thanks, everybody.